Welcome to Sports Adda Live. Very good evening. This is your host Paras here. I've got the cricket expert Salil here. Hi Salil, very good evening.
Hey, very good evening, Paras. How are you doing?
I'm good, Salil. Hope you're doing well as well. A fantastic counter today in between Mumbai and KKR. A lot of excitement when coming to the Mumbai squad as well as the KKR squad for performing very well. Mumbai not that much. What are your views about this, Salil?
Well, absolute cracker of a game. Mumbai trying to really find its form in this second leg of IPL, while they lost that match to Chennai. And KKR, I think they must have found their form in the first game where they won emphatically against RCB. So all in all, looks like a very very close contest. And let's hope it's not a one-sided game like the last 2 days.
Oh, fingers crossed for that. I don't want any team crashing out within 10 overs of the competition. The news out in the middle is KKR has won the toss and elected to bowl first. A lot of talk when it comes to how KKR strangles the opposition. And Owen Morgan did state that on the mic when he won the toss as to what is his plan against Mumbai. He said we want to replicate as to what we did previously against RCB against Mumbai tonight.
Well, I think that's a very bold decision by the Kolkata team and Alan Morgan, purely because this clearly looks like Mumbai's home ground, where they won 6 out of 8, matches,
Yes.
and setting them to bat is not putting them under pressure, which Chennai did in their last match. So I think they would be slightly relieved with whatever's happening. Um, at the same time, I think KKR has always been a team which comes with a plan, which makes a lot of changes and strategic changes as per an opposition. So I think if they've really found that mix, if Brendan McCullum and team have really found that that heart in their last match and the way they went about it, I think going hard on the Mumbai batsmen who've not really scored 160 runs chasing last time will
Yeah.
might just be a good and optimistic option. So I think out of the options that you get, you have to take a few, and Morgan's taken this of chasing the score that Mumbai will set up.
A lot of we've got lineups here. We've got KKR's lineup here. It's the same squad which is played previously. Salil, your talks on the bowling attack that KKR possesses.
Well, that last five that you see was always going to be there. Lockie
Yeah,
Ferguson, a lot of pace and a lot of variation. Prasidh
yeah,
Krishna showing what he's capable of playing, bowling in the 140s.
yeah.
Varun Chakravarti is again a revelation. Sunil Narayan, very similar. Two spinners that you can't cite. Andre Russell, I think, is really the X factor over here because in this second leg of IPL, he's really looking different. He bowled
Yes,
brilliantly the other day for his 3 wickets, and not like the previous version where he was really reluctant to bowl. He was bowling right arm round. He was bowling
yes.
slow. He looks fit. He looks hungry. So that is a great sign for KKR. Not so great for Mumbai, but yeah, I think the balance in the bowling looks really nice. It looks more stronger than their batting. So what they really want to do is try and reduce the number of runs they have to make for their batsmen as much as possible. So I think KKR is really playing to their strengths as of the current scenario, and let's see where it goes.
Absolutely. Excellent analysis of KKR's bowling. Here we've got the Mumbai lineup. I just got stuck onto the first name that we see with the C in the brackets. Rohit Sharma
Quite
comes
true.
back, and Anul Preet misses out in spite of playing well. But Sharma. Your talks about Sharma first.
Oh, absolutely. I think Rohit Sharma is the only guy you need to talk about when it comes to the Mumbai batting. The times that he scores more than 30 runs, Mumbai has won more than 75% of their matches. The sheer name of Rohit Sharma will send shivers down the opposition because
Yeah,
he's molded into one of the best white ball cricketers of the modern time. And
absolutely.
quite honestly, if he gets going, then that also provides a lot of motivation to the middle order and the lower middle order to perform. So if
Yes.
there is a Rohit at a crease, he can easily steer, slightly erratic, you can say Surya Kumar Yadav and Ishan Kishan to play such with a little more responsibility. So
Yeah.
I think his inclusion in the squad makes a really big difference. And I think that top four, if they start firing, then Mumbai will look like a totally different side than what they looked on this Sunday against CSK. So quite honestly, I think very excited to see Rohit Sharma back, one of the biggest names in IPL currently.
Right. And when we talk about Pollard, he's not a captain anymore. He's going to be much more free-minded when you talk about his batting approach today, and also his love for KKR has been quite one-sided when we talk about his hitting abilities. He's really gone after the KKR youngsters in the past, hasn't he?
Oh, absolutely. He's got a great record of playing against the big teams, not just KKR. He's also played against CSK. He's also has a very good record against Rajasthan. I think Pollard has something to prove. Obviously, he's come after winning a CPL tournament,
Yeah.
and I think they were runner-ups. They just lost to Bravo's side, but they performed excellently, and bringing most of the West Indian guys are bringing all that form to this IPL, which is great to see. So you can expect them to really perform. And having said that, they're going to bat first, so there is going to be absolutely no pressure. And I think the contest between the death bowlers of KKR and Pollard will be something to watch.
You've summed it up there. Now, just from a layman's perspective here, Salil, you get picked up for the World Cup. You're very happy. You're very secure. You've done very well in the past. But having such a tournament before the World Cup, facing most of the bowlers who are going to play in the World Cup, we talk about international standards. How much of a pressure is there on an Ishan Kishan or a Surya Kumar Yadav, because they've not performed well as of now? But what do you think their approach should be?
I think the most important thing that a sportsman should really do, and not just cricket, any other sport, is first believe in themselves. And by belief, it means that you need to back your strengths, you need to back your practice, you need to know what areas are you good at, and you need to know what areas have you failed. And I think something that the cricketers of today need to do is keep repeating their best practices and ensure they don't repeat their mistakes. So I think they've got their work cut out, and when they come out to bat, they're the kind of responsibility that they need to display is
Yeah.
is going to be a small test for them. Not that they've not done that. They toured Sri Lanka without the Indian big guns while the team was practicing for the tests. But at the same time, they have definitely shown that they've got the mettle and the talent to take their teams through. So I think it's all about application, and it's also a big test, like you said, playing all those international bowlers. You can say they can consider this as net practice for the
Yeah.
World Cup, but at the same time, not try to practice or experiment too much in a way that you lose a franchise game. So there's a very thin line between what you want to really experiment on and where what exactly you want to exercise while you're playing. So I mean, let's see what the boys are really made of.
Right.
Tough
And
times being the champion in you.
absolutely nicely put there, Salil. Now, coming to Mumbai's full strength, we still are playing at 90%. There is no Hardik Pandya in the team. His inclusion in the team is going to really set a complete benchmark for the tournament going forward. Do you think if a youngster right now performs instead of Pandya, should Mumbai stick with that youngster as he'll be having more match practice going forward in the tournament, or should they replace him back with Pandya again?
Well, I think Pandya has been an old player, so obviously they'll back him for that.
Yeah,
Purely, I think it can also be very momentary, considering the fact that Mahela Jayawardena might think, all right, you don't have much match practice.
yeah,
How is it that are you going to come and perform? We also know this history of Hardik Pandya, where in the last 1 year he's not been bowling. And if he's not bowling and he comes to bat at number 6 or number 7, how much of an impact does he really do to a team? I mean, how many matches will he win purely on the basis of his batting?
yeah.
With the likes of Rohit Sharma, Ishan Kishan, Surya Kumar Yadav, Quinton de Kock, and Pollard coming ahead of him, and possibly Krunal Pandya if they lose a lot of
The
wickets
left-hander.
early, then he comes. So I mean, what is the impact that Hardik Pandya would really bring to the team? I don't think that's too much really if he's not bowling. So it's really a call that Mahela Jayawardena and Rohit Sharma would really have to take. While they would want to back him, while there might be some buzz about him getting some match practice before he goes for the World T20, but I mean we'll have to wait and watch. We also need to know what kind of injury there is because they're not saying what it is. So
Yeah.
that is also under close wraps. So You never know whether he's even going to play in this IPL, or even he might drop off and might
Yeah.
make a place for someone else in World 2020. So possibly just have to hound their Twitter accounts and wait for the news to come.
Right, nicely put there once again. Now, when we talk about, we've spoken about Mumbai's batting. Now, I'm going to talk about, the secure 8 overs for KKR. There are 4 overs for a Narayan, and there are 4 overs for a Chakravarti. Apart from this, there can also be Rana, who can come in and bowl a over or two if required, and he's done a good job in the past.
Yep.
So when we talk about the secure quota, what is your prediction that out of the 8 overs in between these two mystery spinners, how much should Mumbai can afford to get?
Well, I think they need to really pace their innings. It's not that Varun Chakravarti and Sunil Narayan have not gone for runs. They've been hit a few and the batsmen are set. So I think Mumbai need to play to their strengths. Also, while you said and rightly mentioned, you also need to see which kind of bowler you want to really go after.
Yeah.
So I think keeping your wickets at the start, and you will definitely get that odd ball from a Prasidh Krishna to get your average quota of maybe 7 or 8 runs in the power play. I think they need to be grounded on that front, and that's when they can really build an innings. Because when the Mumbai boys will build an innings, they will really score big. And this ground has a history of having a score of 180, so it's a high-scoring ground. 180 is almost a par score. Honestly, I expect Mumbai to make anywhere between 160 and 170, given the kind of form that they are from the match they are coming, and the kind of match practice the entire team has had, the kind of exposure to international cricket. So I think anywhere between 160 to 170 is a score that I expect Mumbai to score the least. If they do well, fantastic. They've got a better chance of winning them.
Right, we've pretty much covered all points, Salil, in the pre-match session. Before we go, your match prediction for today?
Well, while Mumbai has beaten won 22 games out of 28 games, and while KKR has got only 6, I think I might go with KKR today with the kind of form and the kind of flair that they are carrying. I think their energies are slightly higher than Mumbai, while Mumbai is trying to get back to old winning ways. And as you know, Mumbai is slightly of a slow starter. I trust Mumbai will always make it to the playoffs, but I think tonight I would pin KKR as the match winners, as a prediction.
Once again, thanks a lot, Salil, for your valuable inputs. Hope to catch you in the mid-match session. Thank you to all our viewers. Cheers, Salil.
Cheers, Paras.